And now we go. There we go. Microphone wasn't plugged in. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we doing here? Hold on. I bet that's going to mess with my radio. Nope, radio seems to work. Yep, okay. Hold on. I got to do a calibration. Test, 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 test. All right. Good. Everything's good. All right. We're back. Finally, the Chieftain, Zach Dill. I'm glad you're in the house, my man. Zach, I'm glad you're here. You've been asking for the Chieftain for many, many years. Well, not years, but many, many polls anyway. Chunma's here. We got the Chieftain locked and loaded. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you twisted my arm. We're back in X-Plane 12, and we are in the brand new CIS Chieftain for $50. So we're trying out the expensive add-ons today in X-Plane 12. Full disclosure, no sponsor plugs, nothing like that. I did purchase this aircraft and the Airfoil Labs for the stream for you guys, so you get a full unbiased review, even if I do get sponsored by certain companies, I try to be as unbiased as possible. And here we are. I'm excited for this one. Let's talk about my background real quick on the Chieftain, because I know there's probably a lot of new faces here that I'm in X-Plane 12 now. I flew the Chieftain for a little under a year, but pretty heavily for a cargo operator, 135 cargo operator. So I do have a good bit of experience on this airplane. However, it's been a very long time. It's been 16 years. No, it can't be much. It's been like 15-ish years since I've flown a Chieftain. So it's been a hot minute. But I do have some PA31 tutorials that I made 7 years ago that was a lot more fresh in my mind. I linked in the comments section, or in the chat section there, I linked the video number 3, which is the takeoff video, if you're interested. There's also video 1 and 2, which is the run-up pre-flight. I go over hot battery bus items. I go over a whole bunch of other things. And that was in X-Plane 11 with the Coronado Chieftain, but all of the procedures and techniques, power settings, etc., were straight out of my manuals and straight out of my SOPs that I used. I'm going to fly this airplane according to the SOPs that I used to fly it. Kind of like the King Air, there's multiple ways to fly this airplane. All of which are correct, but some of which may not be correct for the way you operate it. So it's just, multiple ways to fly the same airplane. But that's what my first instructor told me at this operator. He said, you can fly the airplane any way you want, but a professional airline or a professional pilot will fly it the way their operator wants them to fly it. So did you purchase this plane on the org store? I purchased it on the main website, ZSim Pilot. I purchased it on the main website, Jetstream. I believe it's the Jetstream website that I clicked on it on the X-Plane org store. Then it brought me to the Jetstream website. So I just bought it direct from the website themselves. But yeah, anyway, if you want more tutorials, a real in-depth video, I mean, it's kind of old in terms of like microphone and quality, but I worked really hard on those videos. I put some overlays in there. I put some real-world flying footage of the Chieftain. So if you want to fly this airplane more realistically, I encourage you to click on that link and then click on the whole series. They're all in one one library. I call it the Freight Dog Piston series, and I encourage you to check those videos out. So with that said, let's kind of take a look at the airplane here. Now, this is where, I give a ton of grief, or I used to anyway, give a ton of grief to Microsoft for the walk-around mode. But this is where I would love just a simple walk-around mode that works as good as the one in Microsoft, so you can really enjoy the aircraft in terms of externals components. So we've got the compartment open here. Some of these click spots I've noticed are a little bit harder to find, and there we go. We'll close that. But yeah, we would check the nose baggage compartment. There's a hot battery bus light in there. Normally you would turn that on. You see it, make sure it's working. We'll pull that engine cover off there. We'll get the chocks off. Now, I don't believe, can I slow this camera down at all? I don't believe we can fuel this, right? This is just, I don't believe we fuel it like the Airfoil Labs. We have the CIS panel that we're going to use to fill up the aircraft. But yeah, we would check the leading edge here. We do have leading edge boots along the aircraft right here. Hold down control. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, it's still pretty fast. But yeah, hold control for slow camera. Thank you. That does help. Come along the leading edge here. We got the stall strip, and then also we've got the little stall indicator there. So I'm going to hop in and I'll show you what we're going to do. Now, right out of the gate, you're going to notice anting on the panel. It really is dependent upon the airplane. Like there's a lot, I've noticed there's a lot of anting or alias ants on the Piper Chieftain panels. I don't know what that is. I've messed with my settings, but it just kind of is what it is at this point. But we do have the all black panel, which is pretty nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the battery switch on, and then we're going to turn on the external lights. We'll do an external light check. Now this is something that we did every flight, and you want to make sure you do it pretty quick because you will drain the battery. So after everything's lit up, we'd walk around, we'd make sure our position light is illuminated, which it is. Come around here, we've got our nav light, our strobe light is illuminated. We've got both our taxi lights, landing lights illuminated there. Everything looks good. Then we'll go right back in, we'll turn those lights off. Position light normally stayed in the on position, and then we'll just come right back here and turn off the battery switch once again. Now that that's done, we continue our walk around here. We'll close the locker. Remember I talked about that on the King Air streams that they prohibited us from putting any cargo in the lockers after we had issues closing them up. Coming around to the tail section of the aircraft, I do have my force feedback yoke installed, and you can see it's hanging forward by the elevator weight, so that's why that's in the down position there. Got some static port stuff over here. Everything looks good. Make sure there's no drips. Make sure the airplane is clean. Got your static wicks here, ailerons, you would check those, and then we would do a fuel sump check, so we'd actually get under the aircraft, and there are fuel sumps. There are 4 fuel bladders in the Piper Chieftain. Yeah, I can't get low enough to get under there, which is unfortunate, but we would check the fuel sumps underneath here. We would sump the fuel, make sure everything was good. Also check the front of your engines here, make sure it's all free of debris, and make sure your belt in good working order over there on this side. As you notice, you can see the belt on engine number 2. But not number 1. And that's by design because it's basically the engine flipped over on itself. Click on the fuel labels of the wing for fueling. Oh, really? On the fuel labels. Ah! How much are we going to fill it up to? Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I gotcha. So we'll pull up the CIS panel and we'll fill it manually. Okay, so with that done, our pre-flight is essentially complete on the exterior. Let's gas up the aircraft. So we're going to gas it up. We'll click on the fuel panel. Golly, camera views. Free camera in X-Plane 12 sucks, but everything else X-Plane 12 camera is awesome. Free camera is just a little wonky. We need a native walk-around mode would be cool in X-Plane 12. But yeah, taking things from both sims. We'll go to the PA31 weight and balance page here, which this is really cool. And it may be hard for y'all to read. Does that pop up on OBS? It does. Okay, so you can't see it. It tells you what state the engines are in. I don't know why it shows flooded engine states here. Now, it may be partially because I know why it's probably showing flooded. The airplane saves your state exactly, and when I took that screenshot, I basically Alt F4'd the stream, right? After I took the screenshot for the thumbnail, then I came back in, I loaded in, my mixtures were full forward, my pumps were on, my throttles were full forward. So I'm assuming that's why our engines show a flooded state right now, which is no problem. We're going to go ahead and we'll do a flooded engine start on this aircraft. But this will tell you the state of the engine. That shouldn't say flooded there. That's means we got too much gas in it. But these engines, I tell you what, man, starting them in the summertime in Death Valley, California, they can be an absolute pain in the rear to start sometimes. We sometimes came up with our own techniques for getting these engines fired up because they just were very temperamental. And I have found this aircraft to be a little bit temperamental as well, which I absolutely love. I think it's a great representation of the real aircraft, at least in SimWorld here for the PA31. You can see our weight and balance situation. I don't actually... Okay, so you do click just... Okay, so you click and scroll. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, I knew I could do the fueling, but we can actually load it up. So let's put in pilot seat weight. I think when I flew these aircraft, I was a lean, mean 211 pounds. I had my flight bag in the right seat. We'll call that 20-ish pounds. Had my flight kit in there, about a 20-pound bag. And then we're going to load this aircraft assuming it's with cargo. So I'm going to load up like so. And actually, let's move that CG around. There we go. That looks good. Get it more towards the center. So that puts us at, man, it's kind of hard to read. Make this a little bit bigger. Does it get bigger for you guys too? Let's see. I'm trying to position it on the stream so we can see that and see our fuel panel. All right. Yeah. Are we hauling a PT6 in need of overall? No, not today, not yet. We did good on the PT6 flight. Oh, one thing I'll mention, I am bummed, a little bit bummed that there is no GPS option. Come on, Jetstream. The least you could get is the GNS 530, which, okay, I would love to see a no GPS panel. That would be so cool to have a no GPS panel. To my knowledge, I can't deselect this. You could use the TDS, and you could also have the G5 ADI HSI, which is an electronic HSI and ADI, which is actually really cool, real cool piece of equipment. I've actually seen a couple of Chieftains with that. My aircraft did not have that. We were very lucky to have. I think we had one or two in the fleet that had 530s, and the rest was just coffee grinder radios and no GPS. So I'd love to see that option. I don't know how hard that would be to add because you're really just removing that, but probably some model work on Jetstream's part, and I don't know if they're interested in that. So with these weights, this puts us at 5,400 pounds, and let's put some nacelle back, or let's put some weight in here. Let's put about 20 pounds up front. We'll put a box up front. And now here's the thing. Oh, you know what? Let's take out some weight. So we're going to simulate. This is a real route I did. So coming out of Reading, we were semi-loaded. We will stop in Sacramento, and that's where we pick up a lot more. We would typically pick up a lot of medical supplies out of Sacramento, and then we haul them over the hill to Hayward. So we're gonna be semi-light out of here. I'll make these equal though. 185 aside. And this is how we would load the aircraft too. You'd load everything forward because as you filled up, you went towards the back. And we had a cargo door where the passenger door is, but because it was a freight conversion, when you had cargo, there was no way to get out of the aircraft. So they actually cut doors in where the windows are, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. This is really cool. It does have the circuit breaker simulation for the fuel pumps, which we'll talk about when we get everything started up. But again, very cool to see this. It brings me back to my route to flying, and it's pretty sweet. So aircraft is typically loaded for the cargo weight now. So let's get some gas in here. I wish there was a way. Let me see what SimBrief did for rough fuel for this flight, and then I'll just judge it. What I'm going to do today after I go home, I'm going to grab my old logbooks, and I have notes and old weight sheets and stuff from flying the Chieftains around. I'm going to go ahead and grab those and see if I can't recreate some real loadouts and stuff from back in the day. But we're going to kind of wing it today. So let me get the what SimBrief gave us here. Let's see what SimBrief's planned fuel was. For the flight down to Sac, it says we only needed 547 pounds. Where is the pounds conversion? So we've got outboard fuel. Is this in gallons or pounds? Yeah, this is in pounds. So 72. All right, so typically the tanks weren't always full either. So let's go 21-ish. And the main fuel bladders. We carried enough gas to go. We never gassed up. So we gassed up here, or we took round trip fuel. So we took round trip fuel from Hayward. Oh, that's right. I got to manually fuel. Shoot. Let's manually fuel. Manually fuel. All right. There we go. We're down to whatever. All right. Let's go ahead and manually fuel. So we'll click this. How do I click on the outboard tank though? Ah, okay, so let's fill the outboard first. This is cool. We will put, let's see, if we put 15 gallons in the outboards, and then we'll fill up the inners. Well, not fill them up, but we'll get a good amount. All right, 15 and a half on that outboard. That is fine. So let's come over here and let's use control. Let's use. Do I have to close the other cap? I might have to. Oh yeah, I gotta close this cap. Come on, get out of there. Get out of there. Okay, good. All right, now we'll open this cap. And, oh, you can even see the gallon count, high accuracy meter. All right, let's see how accurate we can get. We need to add 7.5 gallons. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, you have to hold it depressed. Yep, we're gonna do 7.5 gallons on this one. Very cool animation. You know, I even said this on the King Airstream. Is this a little bit gimmicky? Tiny bit, but I love it. I think this adds a lot, especially if you're gonna fly these airplanes around, you know, with some sort of persistence. I think it's a lot of fun. All right, there's 7.5 on that one. Excellent. So now let's go ahead and do inboard. How do I do inboard? I gotta get a little bit closer. All right, good. So we got 7.5 on the outboard. How do I get the inboard? I want you. Why can't I get the inboard? I want the inboard tank. Is there a hidden click spot? I guess not. Press the fuel label and then click the other cap. Oh, what? Okay. All right. So now we need to add, let's see. We got two. Let's add 20 gallons to each inboard. All right. Hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. All right, good. So we're going to let this one go up to 20 gallons. Drop that twist off, dropping the 10 gifted subs. My man, thank you so much for the support, twist offs. I appreciate you. If you get a membership from twist off, make sure you shout them out. Say thank you, man. Very, very kind. Appreciate the love and support on the channel. Captain Iceman is CIS, Captain Iceman Simulations. I get it now. Captain Iceman, a pleasure to have you on board, my friend. Thank you so much for this wonderful aircraft that you put on or that you released here on the sim. This airplane is near and dear to my heart. It pretty much kick-started my flying career, so I'm very excited to be able to fly this on the on stream today and in X-Plane 12, man. Spoiler alert. The flight model feels freaking amazing. We'll talk about that too in a little bit. All right, there's 20.3 gallons. Let me just, let's check. Excellent. Yeah, I like that. 20 gallons there. Okay, good. So let's close you up. And then we're going to head over to here. We already did the outboard. We just need to do the inboard. We're going to add 20 gallons to this inboard. So we're going to click that cap. Where's my counter? Where'd you go? I got to back up a little bit, I think. All right, there's my counter. Let's go. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Get another 20 gallons on this side. I'm trying to simulate like how our fuel load would have been. Again, like I said, most of the time on this route, we took round-trip fuel from Hayward. So this was a round-trip flight for us. We started Hayward, Oakland, went to Chico, and then up to Reading, parked the airplane all day, and then we flew back in the evening. And most of the time, we didn't refuel in Reading. So that's why the fuel load is going to look a little wonky here, but that's all right. We're just simulating a mid-sequence aircraft. Sorry for what V1 is going to do with your baby. Yes. Also, I do apologize in advance for anything that happens negatively to your aircraft today. We're going to try to take good care of it, but like I said, it's been about 15 years since I've flown one of these things. All right. We're all tapped up. He says check the oil. Can you check the oil on this? Oh, brother, look at that. Now that is cool. This is real pre-flight stuff that we used to do. So I'm going to have to get this walk-around mod someone was talking about in chat, because I would love to be able to walk around like you can in Microsoft to do this oil checking and stuff. So you can see here, we do have plenty of oil. We're looking good. So let's put the dipstick cap, or put the dipstick back in. Excellent. That aircraft, that side is looking good. Let's check the oil on the engine number 2. Right here. If I can zoom in on it. Oh my gosh, I will figure out how to move around in X-Plane 12 again, I swear, at some point. Zoom way in. Okay, oil is good. So we're good on both sides. Excellent. All right, so with that said, our external pre-flight is completed. So let's go ahead and hop back into the cockpit, and we're going to get this airplane fired up. So we are, let me get the CTAF over here real quick. I'm going to try to do this as realistic as possible with, as far as timings wise. It's 19.8 when we get booted up. So we got a real simple flight plan. We're essentially going to depart VFR. We have an IFR flight plan, but we can fly the first leg VFR. So we're just going to essentially fly southbound. We'll mess with the GPS en route. So to get the airplane booted up, we're going to make sure the circuit breakers are out. We're going to come down here, our fuel selectors. We're going to move to the inboard tank. Crossfeed is off. All right. And then up to the overhead, make sure our position light is on. We didn't have any of these fancy switches because we were old freight birds. But that looks good. We'll verify that the throttles are idle, forward, and cut off across the board. That all looks good. And now we can go ahead and get the battery master switch left and right on. Why is our avionics on? Because I left it on from our avionics off. So we'll leave the avionics off. Better recheck the oil, Mr. Wiper Covers. What do you mean, recheck the oil? It was the top limit. Do I need more ice? I'm a bit low. All right, hold up. On both of them, AJ? Which one do we need to check? Well, now I'm nervous. I'm a bit low, he says. Oh, birds are coming in here. We're getting attacked. No, we're fine. Oh, no, we're not fine. Did I really miss that? All right, let's add some oil. How do we add? This is so cool. They're back. Oh my gosh, these views, man. No, we're not fine. The other one, I swear the other one had oil in it. All right, so how do I got to add you. So I take the cap off? Oh, it has to do with the white tick. Oh, I see. Okay, white tick is above. That's simulating the current oil level. Yep. So we're good. All right. I see how this is working. I got you. Sorry, guys. I never added oil before in a simulation. This is freaking cool. Let's check this side one more time. All right. I'm going to bind these controls up. Oh, yeah, we need to add oil. We are a bit low. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. All right, after this stream, before I go home, I'm going to click on the bottle. We're above the green. Excellent. Freaking awesome. Captain Niceman, goated. Okay. Now that we've got proper oil, let's get the aircraft fired up, all right? So circuit breakers are out. I guess I'll talk to you real quick about these pump panels here. Now, in real life, this is exactly how we operate it. So basically, these fuel boost pumps are circuit breakers. They're hot. They're not hot, but they are... when the battery comes on, they run, and you can flood the engine. You can burn them out. It was our standard procedure that you always pull the pumps from the panel. So this is very cool to see this simulated. One thing I will note is the sounds on them are a little bit loud. Okay, now some of them, I will say, there were some airplanes that had really loud freaking pumps, and it was really annoying. I get it. It would be cool if in the future there was maybe an option to just adjust it or just reduce the decibel volume just a little bit. But it's very cool to see this simulated. So let's go ahead and get the battery switch on. Battery switch is coming up. Current altimeter setting here at SAC exec Reading is 29096. So that is good. 29096. Now our engines, they said they were flooded. So we are not going to prime, all right? We're not going to prime, but we're going to do a flooded engine start procedure. So we're actually going to leave the mixtures at idle cutoff, and this is not going to be your standard start procedure, but this is what we have to do because I left the engines at full juice when I took the thumbnail. Let me get you guys a little setup here. So we're actually going to crack the throttle almost full. Props are full forward. Mixtures are idle cutoff. We're going to go up top. We'll get the magnetos 1, 2, 3, 4. Beacon light is coming on. You notice the amperage load. Did you see that? That was really cool. Left and right, but you see the battery, the load when I turned the beacon off. You see that? Very cool. We were doing electrical check and all that, but we're skipping that right now because we're going to get these flooded engine starts. So with that said, we're going to get the pumps on. You see how that they're loud. All right, now let's go ahead and open the window, clear prop. Right, we're going to start engine 2 first. No prime is necessary. So engine starter. Maybe she needs a little more. Come on, baby. Make sure you set the target ready. RPM, get her stable. Very loud. Let's close up the windows now. Let's go ahead and set the park brake. Park brake is set. We'll get the right alternator on, and that is actually going to get the battery charging for a number for the engine starter. So, fully loud indeed. I'm going to turn the sim sounds down. Again, this is your non-normal startup procedure because we had flooded engines. This is why a flooded engine start is actually pretty dangerous. There's a whole lot going on, and when that engine lights off, it's going to light off quick. So it's a musical hands of catch the engine on the starter, get the mixture in, bring the throttle back to 1,000 RPM. One trick here is I know if I have my number 2 throttle at 1,000 RPM, I'm going to go ahead and match my other throttle to that position so I know it's at 1,000 RPM. So after the engine catches, I'm going to bring it right back and match it up because that should be about 1,000 RPM. So let's see if we can get number 1 clear. Clear prop, I also have to bind these. I haven't bound this switch yet, so it's kind of hard. I'm using my mouse and crossing over my hands. All right. Bring that mixture down. All right, get her stabilized. 1,000 RPM on both. I can click on that headset jack. And there is your noise canceling. I like it. We'll use that in cruise. I kind of like the rumble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my headphones off, but I'm just going to turn the sim volume down so you guys can enjoy the volume. Now, one thing I was looking for that I couldn't find, I know all the panel lights are right here. I thought there was, is that the floodlight right there? I think that is the floodlight. Okay, we don't need it right now, but I've got the floodlight on. We can turn a little bit of panel lighting on as we get into the sunset. We'll get the co-pilot's avionics up as well, so we can see a little bit better. All right, let's go ahead. Both alternators are on. Left and right alternators, let's verify they are on. Yes, left and right alternators are on. Avionics master switch can come up. Altimeters are set. Selected altitude, we're going to go 7,500. We're going to blast off of runway 17, so I'm just going to spin you around. All right, we'll hit OK there. We'll put you in standby. This is a lot more fancy than the ones we had. All right. Spin the heading bug around as well. Oh, one other thing I need to do is I need to connect my yoke. I have my yoke disconnected. Now, I will talk about the flight model, but real quick, since I know a lot of you are going to ask, I have force feedback hardware. For my hardware, I have control feel off right now. My control feel is bypassed because I have force feedback. If I turn control feel on, there's visual artifacting of the ailerons in the elevator, but it doesn't really change much because I can customize my Bruner profile to feel like the real deal. Basically, I'm using my Duke profile, my twin prop profile, and we got to open the cow flaps. These engines are getting a little warm. it's working. But now the control feel is something that is game-changing in terms of being able to scale an airplane to feel correctly with a yoke that's not force feedback. We'll talk about that more in cruise, but for those of you who don't have force feedback, it's definitely going to change the game in terms of how flying GA feels, because you can actually dial it in and you're not flying a pitchy, twitchy airplane anymore. You actually have the response feeling like it should. The flood panel on the overhead is slightly more aft. Cabin vent. Oh yeah, oh yeah, so the cockpit flood, yeah. Well, what's this? I thought this was a light too. I thought there was a light switch. I can't remember what that's for, but I remember that being there. I can remember what that switch feels like. All right, 19.8, let's get that on COM 1. All right, 19.8, we're going to check our fuel tanks. So we've got half tanks there. On the ground, we don't have to turn our fuel pumps on when we cross over. There is our outboard tanks. So we're going to stay on the outboard tanks on the ground, and then we're going to switch to full tanks before takeoff. All right. Cabin door unsafe. It's because we got to come back here and close this up. That is actually, if you were in the King Air stream, I told you I aborted a takeoff in Sacramento because of the cabin door unsafe light. That's the exact light that came on right there. There's a bright dim. So that's the exact light that came on. So we got to come back here. We're going to close this up. Now, let's pull here and close this latch, and then this should latch over. Excellent. Okay, so we're locked up, lights out. We're on standby. Reading ground, man flight 202. We're going to taxi runway 17 Alpha. Ready. All right, actually, we're going to make it be a Charlie Alpha. Charlie Alpha. So let's go ahead and get the taxi light on. Flaps are up, trims up. We're going to do a full run-up when we get over there. So, or at least almost a full run-up. Brakes released. Let's taxi on out of here. She rolls excellently. So we're going to come left. We're going to take Charlie Alpha all the way to 17. That is the map light switch. Thank you. Yeah, map light switch. All right. So my temps are still a little bit hot. It is hot out there today. Is this turbo normalized? No, this is turbocharged. These are turbocharged. Oh my gosh, what are they? Are they Lycoming IO 540s? I'm sure Ice knows. But these are the big boys. This is the largest twin piston aircraft that was passenger service that was designed for a while. Like it is a beast. The PA31 Chieftain is an absolute beast. So, as far as lighting mods go, I installed the lighting mod that told me to, yeah, this is default scenery Reading. What lighting mod did I install? I didn't install the ones that I should have. So I installed the one that says turn your ortho off at night. I believe I still have my ortho streaming on right now. But as we get towards Reading, our flight back, we'll probably have to turn ortho off and have the extended night lighting. I'm still working on the night lighting tweaking stuff. Marcel, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Safe lighting, do you think? Bays lighting mod V2. It might be Bays. It's whatever one said turn off your ortho, because it doesn't work with ortho streaming. Taxis wonderfully. I'm a little sad we don't have an Amerifly livery, Captain Iceland there. Or Captain Iceland. Amerifly, baby. Come on. We don't need to go full length. I frequently departed from intersection, I don't know, I think it was called Mike. That's because that's once, wait a second. Okay, mine doesn't quite match the modern layout, but that's all right. We'll go to the next one. Yeah, I think it's like Alpha 3. 17 Alpha 3. I think that's what that is in real life. We'll go down here. Yeah, then Bays V2. Okay, that's what I have, Jesse. We'll see what it looks like at night. I'm probably going to revert back, and just all I want is something that'll work with the orthos room. The glass is some of the best looking glass I've seen. Look how the reflections and the streaking on the windows. That looks so good. This is the closest color I could get for the Amerify livery too. Actually, very similar. We'll come down here to the hold-up run-up pad. So this is default. I mean, I'm sure there's more mods I can install for. There's like X-plane, like taxiway mods, and airport enhancement mod, and all that stuff I haven't done yet. All right. Let's go ahead and set the brake. Turn to light off. And I'm going to see if I can remember a run-up from memory here. So, cowl flaps are full open. We're on the outboard tank right now. That is good. Let's come over here. So, section. So, what we're going to do, we're going to go full rich. And we're going to run this up. Actually, before we run that up, let's keep it at 1,000 real quick. And let's check the alternate air. We should get a jump in our altimeter. Look at that. You see that? See that jump in altimeter? That's the alternate static source. All right, that's correct. That works. Let's back into normal. Let's come over here. Now we're going to run it up to, what is it, 1,800 RPM. All right, let's do a propeller. Since it's hot, we'll only do 2. And number 2. Basically cycling all the oil in the hub. We cycle that prop depending on the outside air temperature. In a hot day like today, 1 or 2 is just fine. All right, we'll go ahead and lean you back a little bit there. 1525 for now. And check our suction gyro pressures in the green. That all looks good. We could do a boot check. We would normally do that. Surface de-ice. See it actually inflate or not. Alright, surface de-ice on off. We're going to check to see if we get it inflate and the pressure. Alright, oxygen pressure's in the green. We're not going to worry about that. Cabin air is off. Okay, and then we'll bring this back down. Alright, and right here on the ground real quick, let's just go ahead and go Reading to SAC. Man, I wish there was a way to use, can you use your keyboard like you can in Microsoft? We're just going to give it a direct 2. We'll turn the flight plan off. But really, if I look at the map, Red Bluff VOR is 15.7. So let's flip you to here. Just kind of back us up. I need to get a 530, man. All right, 15.7 on column or on nav 1. And I don't think we're going to need it, but we'll put SAC VOR in there, 15.2 in the standby. 15.2 on standby. We can actually put that on nav 2 active. All right, nav 2 active. All right. Weather's in standby. Let's go ahead and squawk altitude 1200. Let's go ahead and look at our temps. Everything should be in the green. Am I missing cylinder head? Where's my cylinder needles? I'm missing oil needles. Am I going crazy? Where am I? Yeah, we should have cylinder and oil temperature needles. That's above it. That's a bug of X-Plane. The weather didn't load correctly. That's a weather thing. Alright, let's go inboard tank, which is the fullest tank. Orbit says global's forced. Okay. You need to reload the aircraft? Really? Will it be okay if we just go anyway? Oh yeah, I forgot our mag check too. So let's go right. Make sure you check them individually or else just shut your engine off. There's the drop on left. And it drops too. Thank you. Forgot the mag check. Just keep the EGTs within limits? Okay, we'll do it. Ready traffic in flight 202 departing runway 17. Alright, clear that out. Brakes released. Let's go. Wing, land, taxi, beacon, and strobe is on. We don't need any heats. We'll get the fuel tank pumps on. Let's go. For semantics, we should probably just turn the no smoking and seatbelt signs on too. No mic transmit? Why am I not getting a mic transmit? 19.8? It's picked up my microphone. Alright, we'll deal with it in red. We'll deal with it in Sacramento. This is the Barooner. CLS Mark something or other. Alright. Going up to 7,500. So, set power. Let's go full. Real easy on the power here. Let's get the props up to the RPM. Look at our fuel flows coming up. And we can set takeoff power. We're doing a flaps up takeoff on this one, by the way, we're asking. Airspeed alive 80. And just do a nice rotation. 300 knots, positive rate, gear up, flyby. Oh, I got that G-loaded camera on. External, there we go, turn that off. Pitching for about 120 knots here, 120 knots. We're full across the board. Reaching 1,000 feet. We're going to do our power reduction. We're going to drop the nose just a little bit, about 5 degrees. And now we're going to power down left to right. I took a picture of it. I don't remember my power set. I think it was like 38. And we're going to bring this back 24. Pitching for about 130 knots. To Red Bluff at this time. 130. Let me pull up my notepad here real quick. I took screenshots of it from my stream that I literally have pinned. So our climb was 38.24. Alright, 38 and 24. So I was close. So we're 38 inches, 24 on the prop. And we're looking for a fuel flow of 25 to 30 gallons per hour. So if we come over here, go ahead and wing them just a hair. See the EGTs going up there? That's accurate. All right, good. Look at that, 130 knots. That's what I'm talking about. Flight model here. The few tests I've done so far, they've matched my book numbers pretty much exact. So it's very impressive. Very impressive in terms of performance. I do have a little bit of throttle creep, so just keep an eye on that. Try to keep my manifold at 38, 24, and our fuel flow between 34 and what I say 24 gallons per hour. right? Our flaps are up. Our cow flaps are going to remain full open for takeoff. We'll go ahead and get the fuel tank pumps off. Fuel tank pumps off. And let's take a look at our fuel tank. So we are, we're going to climb on the centers. Once we level off, we're going to switch tanks to the outers. Ground mapping also works. I haven't messed with any of the ground mapping. Oh yeah, it does. Look at that. That'll come in. I'll tell you what, we'll keep that off. That'll come in handy for tonight when we leave Sacramento going into Hayward. Did I only set 46? I thought I had it full forward. I think I probably needed to lean it out a little bit for max performance. Might have been a little too rich then. Did you ever fly out Avant with ham flight? I sure did. Sure did. Alright, looking for 130 knots. Fuel flows look good. Temps look good. Keep that manifold 38 inches. As long as we keep our EGTs within limits, yeah, we would be monitoring our cylinder head temps. But again, we'll reload the aircraft in Sacramento. Must be an X-plane bug, the Iceman said. So no worries, no harm, no foul. We will get that fixed up. But looking out the left-hand side, that is about as real as it gets right there. Look at that beautiful shot, man. Someone needs to come up with a super dirty Ameriflight livery. I had one on the Coronado Chieftain. I mean, and this is how this airplane flew. I mean, you get her trimmed out, she's a fingertip airplane. She's very responsive. Now, it can absolutely be a beast when you're doing single engine stuff and you're out of trim or your power management is off. She'll punish you, but as long as you keep her in trim and stay ahead of the airplane, she's a fingertip airplane. All right, there's 1,000 to level off. I'm going to level off manually, and then we'll engage the autopilot. I think now we'll go ahead and turn on the noise canceling. Oh, that's wonderful, yeah. Noise canceling is on. All right, let's talk about powering down here for the next 500 feet. So when an airplane like this, when we power up, we start from the right. We go fuel, RPM, then manifold. As we get ready to level off and we power down, we're going to go opposite. We're going to start from the left. We're going to bring our manifold down. We're going to set our RPM, and then we're going to lean. And once we lean, that's going to modify our manifold a little bit. We're going to come back and we're going to fine-tune our manifold. So powering down, powering up. Here comes 7,500 feet. Get a little bit of nose down trim in there. Push forward on the yoke. I got a little bit carried away talking. I think we'll save it. Remember, boxes don't bitch, so if you do a little less than 1G, nobody's going to know. All right, we'll get it trimmed in here. We're going to let the airspeed go up to about 140, 150 knots. And now we will begin powering down. I'm going to try to do it from memory, then I'll check my notes. I think we were going to come down about 34. That seems high. 23. Those prop sounds are so real. Let me check my notes here real quick on my phone. I remember if you want the full tutorial takeoff video, if you click the link in the chat box, it'll bring you to my tutorial video where I was a lot more current. All right, cruise 2623. So yeah, that's Friday power. We come back to 26. We're tracking direct Red Bluff here, essentially. We're not following the magenta line. We're just kind of going VFR down the highway towards Red Bluff. All right, so 26 inches of manifold, 23 on the prop. And now, for leaning, I'm going to help myself out. I'm going to get the autopilot on. So let's go ahead and gauge heading, altitude. Oh, it was on. Heading, altitude, hold. All right, autopilot flight director heading altitude, that looks good. And we're up here in cruise. We're gonna go half because I don't have proper EGT readings on this load. We're just gonna go cow flaps half right now. to be conservative. And then we're going to go fuel tank pumps on. And then we are going to switch to the outboard tank. Remember, one at a time. All right. And then, why do I keep hitting that button? I'm going to hit 2. Now we're going to turn one pump off. Verify fuel flow is holding. All right. Now the second one. You don't want to get up here. It's very easy with 2 fingers to get up here and just clap, you know, shut them both off. But if there's a fuel issue, then you're going to shut both engines off. You don't want to do that. So everything one at a time. One at a time. All right. The sunshade, there are some power settings. Really? How do I open it? Whoa. There you go. Oh, you mouse wheel, mouse wheel, mouse wheel. Oh yeah, 26. Look at that. All right, so there you go. You can follow those if you want to. That actually seems pretty close to what I'm going to do. I'm just doing my my actual settings from what our SOPs were. So I mean, that's probably where they got. I mean, they obviously got them from the book and then maybe modified them. But 26, 23, and now let's talk about leaning. So the EDM that we have in the turbine the Dukes, piston Dukes, all the black square stuff, a lot of the Microsoft stuff, we have that real fancy EDM trend monitor. You don't have any of that fancy stuff in the Chieftain, and I'm really glad that it's not in here from Iceman, because I like doing this old school. There's two ways we can lean this engine. You can lean for fuel flow, that's easy, and then you can lean for rich of peak or lean of peak. We always leaned rich of peak at my operator, 75 degrees rich of peak, or 1525 EGT. Okay, depending on environmentals, you may not be able to get to the peak EGT without going red line, so then we would just do 1525. So how we're going to lean this, our power is set, right? We got 26, 23, and now I'm going to start bringing my mixtures back. Watch my EGTs as they climb. And I'm looking for them to peak and then fall back down. This is a real slow process. There's 1500. I have a feeling we're going to get to 1525 at this altitude. And there's 1525. Oh, and they're peaking right about 1525. Come back a little bit more. Oh no, they're still going up. And there they fall. So they peaked at 1600. So what is 1600 plus 75? 1525. Ironic, isn't it? It's almost like there's a book with these numbers somewhere. So now I'm going to enrichen those engines, and I'm going to set them at 1525 on the rich side of the peak EGT. So 1525, and again, these airplanes, back in the day that I was flying them, it was not an exact science. You know, 1525, get it close to the line. Is it close to the line? Good. If it's close to the line, check your fuel flows. They should be approximately what the book is saying, right? All these engines with age, they tend to get a little bit off from the book as they age. Let me see if I can have some reference fuel numbers here. I don't have any reference fuel flows, do I? So it looks like my SOP was running these engines at approximately 55% of block horsepower. So a pretty conservative value, which makes sense for a cost-efficient or a low-cost freight operator that's trying to save money, right? They're not going to be running them balls out all the time, because guess what? You're just going to increase maintenance, wear, and tear. So this is pretty much where my operator got the numbers from. So this is at 5,000, we're at 75. It's a little bit off, but you know, 26 at 2,300 RPM, 25.7, cool, 26. All right, and then this is at 6,500 or 65% and 75%. All right, so that's good. All right, now we can kind of keep track where we're going. Again, we are still technically VFR. I've done this route 100 times, so I pretty much see exactly where we are. We're tracking down the highway. Everything looks good. Right about now, they'll just say you're cleared to Sacramento via radar vectors. And for juice purposes, let's come a little bit right. We'll stay over the highway, because there is an air base out here, Beale, that we don't want to transition Beale. We do talk to Beale approach. but you don't want to fly through the airspace. Now, real quick, off topic, not Chieftain related. For the Honeycomb Bravo users out there, is there a way to bind the heading bug to the Honeycomb Bravo knobs over here natively in X-Plane? I'm not talking about using a binding program, because the autopilot buttons work appropriately. But I am wondering if I can bind like course line and heading with the Bravo native. I just need to find out what those bindings are called. Once I can figure that out, that'd really make life a whole lot easier. But okay, so it is possible. If anybody is in the Discord and you are feeling generous, if you would just put that in for just tell me, oh, Honeycomb Bridge installed. Do I need Honeycomb Bridge? This is a great question from Alex. Why did EGT eventually drop when mixture was lean? I would think it would keep rising because less fuel. So Alex, that is a great question, and that is why understanding what peak means is important. So you're absolutely correct. As you lean the mixtures, fuel is getting less, right? We have to maintain the optimum fuel-air mixture for the engines. As you go up in altitude, that oxygen is less and less, right? So leaning makes sense. You want to take away the fuel because the oxygen is getting less and less. There becomes a point, though, that if you continue to take away fuel, you're now going to start choking out your engine because you're going to have more air than fuel. And that's where that peak EGT is going to sit. So the absolute optimum spot, debatable, some say it's 75 lean of peak, but for the conversation that we're having, that peak number, when that EGT peaks out, that's the optimum fuel-air ratio. If you continue to pull fuel away, now you're actually not having enough gas with the mixture, or excuse me, not having enough gas in the engine with the fuel. I'm getting confused. As you lean past that, you're taking away too much gas for the air density at that altitude, so it's going to naturally fall, and what happens is it will actually cut the engine out. All right, and your engine will actually choke out, and it will fail. That's how mixture, idle, cutoff, right? Now, again, where these mixture levers end up is going to be dependent on OAT and altitude and outside environmentals. But yes, that's a great question. I hope I answered it for you. But yes, as you bring fuel away, you're bringing fuel away to match the perfect air density at that altitude. And then if you continue to pull fuel away, guess what? It will eventually die out. All right, let's see. The heading selector. Wait, what were we saying about the heading selector? Oh, it's just called heading selector? Really? All right, I'll have to mess with that. Because, yeah, that definitely, being able to swap to heading and all that stuff is so useful. Let's see, right now we are 33 minutes out. We're going to just kind of maintain this. We're going to get a beam to airbase here, and then we'll pretty much proceed direct. We'll pretend we're giving ourselves radar our own ATC vectors. I'll go to full screen cam so you can see the whole thing here. I'm in VLOC. Yeah, I know. I'm on VLOC because I was just tracking the radial, or we were initially, and then once we hit the highway, we stay over the highway. So I went a little bit past it. Real life VFR, they keep us right over the highway or just right of it, so you stay clear of Beale. And then pretty much a beam Beale approach, they never were very busy, so then they would just say, okay, you want IFR into SAC? And they're like, yeah, all right, you're cleared to SAC. So for us, the SOP was you could be VFR on certain routes. Certain routes you had to be IFR. The second leg we're going to do when we go SAC to Hayward, it's a short flight, but we actually are going to fly that IFR because typically it was at night and you're going over the mountains, so they required you to be on an instrument flight plan. So we had to pick up IFR clearance on the ground and then get into Oakland that way. But this was one of the few VFR approved routes that we flew. Yeah, I should be right over here, but that's okay. We're close enough. Is the cockpit this dark or is it an X-plane thing? So this is a black panel. It's actually pretty good. I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm going to open. I have a cool video here. If you haven't clicked on it already, this link. Set it right about. I'm going to show you guys an actual takeoff. if you haven't watched it already. Again, I highly encourage you, if you want to see this stuff with a little bit more, a little bit easier to understand with pictures and stuff, check out my tutorial series I did on that. Let's see, but so let's watch. Let's go. This will be cool. I'm going to turn down X-Plane here for a minute. So X-Plane's coming way down. I'm going to bring up this. This is a real footage shot of... Go
ahead. I'm just going to cut to the scenes where I do my takeoff flow.
This is the takeoff flow. So I got the fuel pumps on. Props are full forward. Mixture is set. This particular airport, we had to do a max performance takeoff, so the mixtures were pre-leaned. Running through the... Listen, you can hear the pumps. You hear that? Those are the fuel pumps. I see no GPS in that bad boy. All right, here comes the takeoff. Look at the fuel flows going up. So see how we set power, get the prop set on the governor, and then smoothly advance the throttle all the way up. And then you'll watch. We can watch the climb procedure here too. Coming through about 90 knots. Positive rate. Gear up. No runway remaining.
Just as a side note, you also notice that I had the mixtures full rich for takeoff on this.
Oh, maybe it was full
day.
rich on this one.
That's just because the elevation and particular atmospheric conditions called for a full rich takeoff. So while yes, you can leave them lean from the run-up box, as I showed you in the previous episode for takeoff, you can also do a full rich takeoff if conditions allow.
I should like my own video. All right, here comes power reduction. Remember, powering down, we're going left to right. And here come the props. And then just a little bit of lean, climb fuel flows. Fly the airplane, hard IMC out of that on that departure. And then go back and then reset the fuel. So, and then checklist, and then eventually I'll get the pumps off here. All right, and this is going to be our So again, this is on my Piston Series HD. You can see if you click on the link in the description, I think I've got 4 episodes from pre-flight all the way to landing. Here is a shot. I thought this was really cool. So my last day, you guys, I know there's a lot of you that have seen the donut before, but the last day that I was flying the Chieftain, I was going to switch. I was going over to Beach 99 training after this particular flight. And my buddy Sean, he's a 777 pilot now at a major U.S. carrier. He brought me my favorite donut because he's like, man, we're going to miss you. So he brought me a donut, and I was on the Ukiah run, which we'll end up doing this week. We'll leave Hayward. It was Hayward, Ukiah, then Ukiah up to Eureka. And this is kind of a cool comparison shot. Now, this is X-Plane 11. I have a feeling we need to recreate this in X-Plane 12. This particular panel that we have in the CIS Chieftain is a black panel. We had both. We had gray panels and black panels. Also, if you look at the airspeed indicator, let me see what we have on this particular airspeed indicator. If I close this off. So we have that one versus, yeah. So you'll notice if you look at the airspeed indicator, even within our own fleet, we had a huge variety of different types of airspeed indicators. Some were like this one, obviously. Some like this had the task window, and then some, we have the task window in this. Yeah, we have the task window in this, you know, like this. But there were also a couple that had different, like the scale was off. So you would look at one airplane and be like, man, I'm hauling butt because it'd be up here, but it actually, there was like a 160 up here. It's just a larger scale. So again, you know, everybody, you fly a Chieftain. If you've flown a Chieftain, you've flown one Chieftain because there's just a whole bunch of variety. We had a ton of variety even within our own fleet of Chieftains. But yeah, that's a cool shot. I always that's the famous donut run right there.
This was
and I wonder if I have any more footage on that particular one. I don't. Or I think I do actually. Here is, what's this one? This is just climbing up. Fuel selector procedure, I think. I was changing tanks. This looks like a departure out of Hayward where we did the tight left 270. See, we took off on the outer tanks. And then there's the climb power settings, 38, 24, 25 to 30. Did you prefer the 99 or Chieftain? Well, it was often said that the Chieftain was the hardest airplane to fly of all the aircraft in the fleet, other than the Metroliner. The Metro was probably a little bit harder. The Metro was always trying to kill you. I never finished training on the Metro. I actually went to the operator I went to because I wanted to fly the Metro. But by the time a Metro run became available, I was getting out. I said, I'm going to fly airline stuff. So while I started training on the Metro, I never actually completed my Metro training. But I did jump seat around on it. I did fly one sim in it, which was really cool. The sim that I flew wasn't actually an official sim lesson. I was observing a sim, and then I got to mess around with it. But I am super pumped for the Retro Metro. The Retro Metro in X-Plane 12. I did see that is coming to X-Plane 12. But I love having a study level Chieftain like this. I mean, this is bang on. Matter of fact, hold on. What was that? Hold on, I gotta look at something here. What was our... Guys, we gonna see something crazy? What's our airspeed? Look at the airspeed in the real aircraft. 145 at 6,000 feet. What are we doing? 150 knots? We're 5 knots off. It's probably a little bit cooler where we're flying today. Yeah, it's only like 14 C outside. That other shot was probably closer to 30 C, so probably be getting a little bit less power. So performance numbers pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. All right, we are getting close. We were at Beam Beale. They probably say, okay, you're cleared to Sacramento via direct, maintain 7,000. So let's go flight plan. Let's go direct, enter. And let's go back CDI GPS mode, and let's see if she'll track nav. Let's get her tracking nav. Okay, now here's something that is very important, is stage cooling the engines. I haven't, let's see, we are 64 miles out, which is about right. I gotta have to remind myself, what is it, 2 inches every 1,000 feet, I think is what we used to cool the engines. Wow, look at that shot. So you get a little bit of anti-man. If X-Plane can clean that up, I mean, look at the lighting coming through those clouds. That is sick. Let's go ahead and bind a trailing wing view here too. All right, let's take a look at our fuel. We're quarter tanks on the outboards. As we get ready to start our descent, we will switch to the inboard tanks. But anyway, back to do I prefer the 99 over the Chieftain? I did. I always thought, you know, being on the piston fleet, you're always envious of the turbine guys. But then when I got to the turbine, I was like, I kind of miss flying the Chieftain. It was a lot of fun. But it was a lot more work. A lot more work on the Chieftain. The turbines, PT6, the 99, absolute blast to fly. A little bit more to learn. Like ground school was a little bit more intense. Training was a little bit more intense. But the airplane was easier to fly for sure. All right, so we got 3,000 set. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn altitude mode off. And we're going to bump the trim forward a little bit as we start down. And I'm going to start bringing my manifold pressure back 2 inches. So we're at 26. Let's come back to 24. And we would typically start the chrono. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. What did I do? Or about like that. You had to carry a timer with you to start the clock. And you could also use, there's a timer over here, isn't there? thought they're maybe on the. I know in the black square ones. I think it's. Oh yeah, flight ET flight time ET reset start the timer. There we go. We can use that one. We'll let that start going for 2 minutes. Probably we'll do it about a minute since it took me a minute to fumble around. As we start our descent, let's go fuel tank pumps on, and let's go ahead and switch to the center tank, which should be the more full tank. Man, we're doing a pretty good job of burning though. All right, 1 tank pump off, verify fuel pressure is holding, and number 2 come off, and we're gonna take those into landing. We also get the wing landing taxi light off. That's on me. Should have turned those off earlier. And we'll keep trickling down here. So we'll bump you down a little bit. At night, the exhaust glows. Well, yeah, on the real thing for sure. Does this? Oh my gosh, I can actually see it. That's your turbocharger in there, chat. You see that orange glow? Oh my goodness. Check Captain Iceman's for the needles above. Let's see. Sorry, Iceman, I get to talking, man, and I forget to look at the chat. There is a command that I implemented to fix the engine temp needles when the bug appears, but you'll have to go into the settings, keyboard strokes, and search for fix temps. Let's do that right now. Let's just see. So, let's go here. You said keyboard settings, search for fix. Sys, fix temps. Okay, let's do, what am I going to bind that to? Shoot. Is F available? No, let's do control F for fix. Nope, we don't want to do that. F is for failures. Let's not do that. Let's do, I'll tell you what, let's do, how about shift M? Nope. How about M? Nope. Let's do right control M. Jeez. I need a button. I need a button to use. How about shift X? Okay, we'll just go with that for now. Hey! Look at that, we got our needles back. Although everything is very cold. We got our needles back. Let's close the cow flaps. That might just be because they were not there. I'll reload the aircraft. And actually, I'd be curious to see if we can get a gray panel. I downloaded this livery because it was close to the amp flight colors. It's actually almost identical. Because we had some old Navajos that had that tail design. But awesome. Yeah, we got the needle fixed temp. It looks like they're coming up. They're catching up to the simulation. So very cool. Captain Iceman, you're awesome, dude. Thanks for that. Oh, we're well past 2 minutes. We'll go ahead and bring it back another 2 inches. So for 24, let's come back to 22. And if you want to know what I'm doing with stage cooling, I have a full tutorial on that piston series. I highly recommend you check it out. We'll keep trimming down here. Yeah, 3BT. We used to call November 3 Bravo Tango 3 bitch tits because it was such a pain in the ass sometimes. So 3BT got its own nickname of 3 bitch tits. It actually had a Garmin in it that never, like, it worked 25% of the time, and it had an autopilot panel. It had an autopilot that the nav track function was, it would illuminate nav here, but it just would not track. And nobody wrote it up because we knew if we wrote it up, they would just deactivate the whole autopilot. So we knew 3 Bravo Tango, if you were in that bird, you had to pay extra attention. My buddy was supposed to, I remember we were taking off, we were doing a fleet launch in the morning, and he was supposed to level at, I don't know, like 4,000. He was in 3 Bravo Tango, and Oakland Center got on him. He's like, 3 Bravo Tango, where you going? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you're at 6,500 feet. You're supposed to be at 5,000. He's like, sorry. That's an ASAP. Just the autopilot was so bad in it. But for the days that it did work, For how long did you fly the Chieftain? Flying this beast myself for a European operator. Amazing machine. Sick dude. Very cool, man. A little under a year. Actually, a little less. Probably like, I want to say 9 months or so. I was flying it 3 and 4 days a week for 9 months straight. So not quite a year on the Chieftain. I'm curious when the lights are going to pop on here next plane, but man, what a beautiful... As we get into sunset, I'm excited to see what our night's going to look like with our night mod. You did the Bahamas for 8 years in the Chieftain, my goodness. That's a long time to fly, Chief. The Bahamas seems pretty nice. My Chieftain flying was regulated up and down the west coast, mostly. And a little bit east. Ontario, Vegas a little bit. Did some TDY, Phoenix. Out in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. Coming up on 4 for 3. Let's get it, let's see, let's pull up Sacramento's current weather. 2-9er, 9er, 5. And as we go down, we'll just bump those mixtures ever so slightly forward. Did your Chieftains have seats removed? Yes. Yeah, so our Chieftains had no seats, and this was either a cargo net or it was just a solid piece of metal. You could not egress through the back most of the time. Most of the time, I think it was mostly cargo nets. I think there were a handful that had the metal door there. But yeah, no seats. This Chieftain is way. Look, you even got a sink back here. My goodness, you got a sink. You got this is luxury, baby. This is a luxury Chief. Coming up on 4 for 3. What would be in the back? Oh man, from bank checks, depended on the day. So most popular with bank checks, especially on Fridays, because the banks, they're closed on the weekends. Oh, we didn't level off. Look at that, no altitude level off. Welcome to the Chieftain, baby. We got to do that manually. The procedure for us was get it below 500 feet per minute, and then put it in altitude hold mode, and then people couldn't handle that, so then the procedure got, okay, hand fly the aircraft to altitude, and then turn the autopilot on. It was, that was the recommended technique. Altitude selector works when armed. That probably would have helped. Yeah, probably would have helped me there. You gotta hit the arm button. But, yeah, I don't even think we had, I don't even know if we had it. Our altitude selector was just the coffee grinder version, and they would overshoot by 200 feet easy. But yeah, anyway, from bank checks to medical supplies, medical samples, bees. Although I flew those in '99, I flew much more interesting stuff in the '99. But in the Chieftain, yeah, mostly bank checks, medical supplies, medical samples, UPS stuff. It also depended on the route you were on. So, like, if you were on a UPS route, then you would just do feeder for UPS. So then whatever is on a standard UPS truck, you'd fly that stuff. Flowers on Mother's Day, things of that nature. If you were on the runs that I mostly was on was medical supplies. Oh, organs. Did a life flight a couple of times, right? So you take a heart, a live heart. So you'd be what's it, life flight? What's the call sign when you're medical? Drawing a blank. Yeah, organs too. And then I don't know what was in them. I'm pretty sure they were just medical samples, but we would get, especially out of Eureka, we would get these big boxes. Medevac, thank you, jeez. We'd get these big boxes, probably 4x4 cube size, you know, about 4 feet by 4 feet. Barely get them in the door. And they were heavy as hell, but it was an awkward heavy because only the bottom of the box was heavy, and you couldn't tip it. So, man, I remember there were some days where we were fully loaded. Matter of fact, I have a video on my channel of I calculated my takeoff weight was literally maxed allowable takeoff weight out of Eureka, which is a short strip. And that was pretty spicy. It was absolute maximum takeoff weight, completely filled up. So... yeah, that was, were those single pilot? Yeah, everything was single pilot. Every now and then you flew with someone else, like if someone needed training or someone needed currency, they'd say, hey, take so-and-so on the run with you so he can get a landing or whatever. Or if there was a new pilot, show him the ropes, he would just sit right seat, you know, where he'd do a leg, sit right seat. So there were a handful of times where you flew with somebody, but I'd say 97% of the flights were all single pilot. The original KFC 2000 autopilot manual is in the manuals folder. My man. I haven't even... everybody was so excited to see this airplane today, Iceman, that I was scrambling just to get it up and running. I do apologize. I didn't go through all the full manual setup yet, but let me look at it right now. Oh, yeah, KFC 2000, whole freaking... oh, the OG manual. Chat, look at this. This is cool. This is literally what they handed us. Iceman, this is great, dude. This is a great product. I love seeing developers bring add-ons like this into X-Plane 12 now, because I feel like a lot of devs have kind of either not abandoned X-Plane 12, but maybe they just kind of stopped, or now they're starting in Microsoft, which I love Microsoft Flight Sim too, but getting some high quality add-ons fully complete with manual sets. Look at this. Oh my goodness, man. This is awesome just to have as a, you know what, I might even just print this out and put it in like a retro binder on my aviation wall, because this is just cool to have, man. Yeah, there's the arm button. There's the different yokes. This is really cool. How much total time did I have when I started? I started at 135 minimums, which I think was, what is it, 1,500 or 1,300 hours? 1,200? I think it was 1,300 hours before I could get my first 135 gig. So I was a flight instructor, and I instructed for 1,200 hours. At the same time, I was also flying a corporate jet on the side. So I was a full-time flight instructor, corporate jet pilot, and I needed more PIC time to be able... I needed PIC turbine time to be insurable for certain contract gigs on the citation market. 1,200 Firefly, thank you. 1,200. Yep, 1,200 PIC for 135. There we go. So right around 1,250 or 1,300 hours, I got picked up by my freight operator. And I said, okay, I'm going to come back and fly the jets, the corporate jets, but I need more PIC turbine time. This will be the fastest way to do it. And then, like I said, I started on the Chieftain, and then I moved over to the turbine. And then that was it. We started down a little bit too early, but that's all right. We're 20 miles out, 8 miles out, 22 inches. We're looking good. How long did it take you to get those 1,200 hours to CFI? Roughly 2 years. If I had my, so my logbook, all of my 135 time is in a separate logbook, and all of my instruction time is in another logbook. So I'd have to go back and check. I have all my digital stuff is just my 121 flying. I've been meaning to import it, but it's just too much, man. I got 2 paper logbooks. Both are almost completely full. Well, one's completely full, and the other paper logbook is maybe 2/3 full. So average flight time, asking me, on the Chieftain, well, you're seeing one route right now, so you know, couple hours, 2 to 3.5 hours, you know, per outbound, and then you come inbound. So you're probably getting 7 hours a day ish, you know. But again, there was a handful of routes. So there were some routes that were super short, and you were assigned a route for a month. So 1 month you were, say, Amp Flight 202, and I don't remember what it was. I'd have to look up. But Amp Flight 202 would operate Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the routes would be Hayward, Chico, Reading, Sac, Hayward, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then if you are Amp Flight 415, you would only operate on Wednesdays and Fridays, but you then flew the longer route. You flew from Hayward all the way up to Eureka with a stop in Ukiah, which was my favorite route. 1, it was longer flight time. 2, there was a great donut shop in Ukiah. I'd stop and get donuts and coffee on my way up. 3, I roomed with a really cool dude. He's a JetBlue captain now. I roomed with a really cool dude up there in Eureka at the outstation, so we were buddies. Also, the UPS driver, he was huge into archery. So, you know, I'd fly the Chieftain up, and then Jose would pick me up in the crew car. We'd go to the house, then we'd go to the UPS driver's house, and we'd shoot archery, like straight, not compound, like straight, not the compound bow. I can't even think what it is. My mind is fried from streaming all day. But like the original longbow archery stuff, which was a whole lot of fun. So that's the route I always wanted to do. Recurve, thank you. Max Jones, thanks for the £5. I appreciate it. Says, have you seen that video of the passenger messing around with buttons in an A320 cockpit after the first officer let him sit in the captain's seat? No. I had not seen that, Max Jones. Thanks for the $5 super chat, my man. Appreciate you. I have not seen that at all. All right, as we get closer to SAC exec, winds are 200 at 6. Expect runway 12 and 20. So we're just going to self-vector ourselves in. We're going to pretend we're ATC. We're going to land 20. Plan to get off at Juliet. So what we can do is we'll zoom you out, and field elevation is 24. So once we get clear of SMF here, we'll see we're a little bit tight. It would have kept us on a vector over here over the highway, on this side of the river anyway, and then bring us down into SAC exec. But let's go ahead and drop down to 2,500. Actually, let's do 1,500. Let's get straight down to 1,500 feet. We'll arm it, and we'll nose it on down. Now we come back straight to 20 inches. Our engines will be nice and cool. We'll go ahead and run the mixtures up just a little bit. Am I using any visual mods? I'm using dehaze mod, and I'm using, I think that's it, just the dehaze mod, and we are going to be using a nightlight mod as the sun sets and we go into nighttime. But other than that, no, just ortho, being ortho, and dehaze. You have the full POH manual folder along with the other BK radios. I did see that, yeah. Excellent, Captain Iceman. Excellent. I still have my paper POH. Actually, I think I have it somewhere in here. Might actually be behind me somewhere in my old flight bag. All right, Amp Flight 202, flight present heading, vectors for visual 20. All right, so we're going to go heading select, and then we're going to go OBS mode, and we're going to do this. We're going to spin the course line to be the runway heading, which is 199. And that is how we would set ourselves up for little visual backup approaches. So basically extended the center line. We basically did a fixed info extend center line. Coming down to 1,500 feet, we're 20 inches. As soon as we hit 18, we're considered stage cooled, which I'm sure we're going to be stage cooled at this point. Mixtures have come up a little bit. We were on the descent all the way down. How's our fuel looking? We're still on the fuller tank, so we'll just go ahead and land with it on that. As we get ready, we'll get the wing landing taxi lights are coming on. And flight 202, turn left heading 100 vector base leg. Alright, let's go ahead and monitor our temps now. Yep, everything's looking good. Where cow flaps are going to come to half. Actually, I think we'd only do cow flaps half if we were doing an instrument approach. And flight 202, their field's at your 1 to 2 o'clock in 8 miles. Field in sight. And flight 202. And flight 202, cleared visual approach. Maintain 1,500 until past downtown Sacramento. You're clear to land. Contact, or whatever, clear tower. I don't know what it was. A long time ago. Basically like that. We're flying right up downtown Sac. Actually, our overnight is right here. I think it's this hotel. My current operator, I think I overnight right here. All right, let's enjoy some hand flying. So let's go autopilot disengaged. Oh, you know what? I went into, oh, chat. I don't have a yoke because I went into the settings. Got to reconnect the Bruner, chat. Got to reconnect the Bruner. All right, there we go. Bruner's reconnected. Cams up. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back 18. Too tight here. Right about, I think, power altitude, what, 1,300, something like that for SAC, maybe 1,200. Start getting the trim in there. We'll level off here at 1,200 so we can slow down. Let's turn off the noise canceling. Get the full effect. And we are stage cooled. Power's coming back. Get into that white arc. We'll go flaps 20. Counter that balloon effect. There's 120 knots. Keep slowing down, make our turn. Mixture's coming up. Alright. Gear down, pumps on. Mixture's coming up. Props are coming up. Next notch of flaps. Let's try to keep at the blue arc there. That's me. I should have a little bit more power. Approach around 115, 110. Slightly up, blue line or above. If you just maintain blue line or above, you're going to be just fine. Alright. Mixtures, props, throttles, flaps. Now, we would get that last notch of flaps in pretty low. So I'm going to try to recreate that here. Because you go full flaps in the Chieftain, it is pretty draggy. Alright, here we go. Full flaps coming in. Keep driving her down, looking real good. Flyer down. Don't Airbus flare it now. Don't Airbus flare it. Oh, whoa, my brakes. Not bad. This is what the one we want. Ooh, skiddy on the brakes there. Hope our tires are okay. There we go. We'll get equal braking on. Excellent. Alright, 1,000 RPM. Bring those mixtures back half. Pumps coming off. Flaps are coming up. Reset your trim. Transponder standby if necessary. After landing flow here. Cow flaps open. We're just going straight. Alright, transponder standby. Trim is reset. Flaps up. Cow flaps half. We're going to go ahead and get the lights. And we'll taxi to the ramp. Yeah, SAC. We used to land SAC exec. brakes are very sensitive. Might have to adjust my brake pedal sensitivities like I did in Microsoft. I used to just run linear brakes, but then I got onto putting a nice curve on your brake pedals. I started doing that in Microsoft 2024, and it's really it's hard to go back to linear pedals like this. You see how sensitive they are. All right, let's go ahead and take it over here to Julieta, and I'll show you exactly where we used to park. Matter of fact, we used to park right here. Get fancy with it, kill the avionics. Pop a window. It's probably hot down here. Yeah, look at it. SAC exec, man. It's almost 100 degrees out here. Do I ever stay in Sacramento? I do. We park right here like this. Now, in real life, this used to be a bunch of T parking. I'd park here and I'd wait for the courier. So let's go ahead and go taxi light off. And park brake is set. Alright. Everything looks good up top. Okay, A launch. Let's go ahead and go alternator left, alternator right. If we do that to get our alternate lights up, just an extra check. 1000 RPM, a little bit more juice. And kill it. Once it kills, power to idle. Magnetos. Get the magnetos. Get your circuit breaker pumps. Love that. Love it. And you kill your overhead panels, but we'll actually leave our light panels on because we're going to fly at night after this. And then we'll go ahead and go battery 1 and 2 off. And we'll open up the cargo door and get ready for our night flight. So now that I tell you what, since we fixed our EGTs, we don't even have to reload the aircraft. So we'll just fast forward the time. And we'll take a 5-minute intermission. We'll fast forward the time until it gets dark. We'll get our lockers up. We'll throw some chocks under it. We're going to pick up some extra cargo here. So this will be exciting. Also, the hydraulic engine pumps with landing gear lever test is simulated. Wait a second. So the one where you like test, you do the, oh my gosh, I have to remind, it's something that pops the handle, right? I'm going to have to remind, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember how to do it. That's simulated. That is very cool. I will look it up and we'll have to do it. Z-Sim Pilot, I'm glad you enjoyed Flight 1. If you want to, stick around for Flight 2 as we accelerate into nighttime. So what I'm going to do is I'll just park the camera here. We'll take I don't know, maybe a 4 or 5 minute break, and we will go into the sunset. I'll kind of expedite the sunset here, and we'll wait for the courier, which I can do like this. Seems like this is better than the King Air. There's two totally different aircraft. You know, I've said this recently on stream where it's really hard to appreciate airplanes if you don't intimately know the airplane in depth, because you don't know what you don't know about the aircraft, right? So I remember a lot about the Chieftain. I never flew the 350, so there are some things about 350 that I'm unaware of, but it did seem like it had pretty decent modeling going on. What I will tell you, from our first flight here and my first few test flights, the handling, pitch and power performance of this Chieftain, I mean, I feel like I'm working for my off-layer operator back in the day. You know, like I literally feel like we're back in the day. So much so that I might wake y'all up for a stream at 5 a.m. tomorrow. We should do a 5 a.m. stream, pretend we're on the ramp for a 5 a.m. stream, and go fly, take off. We had a 5:45 departure. Only after somebody makes me a super dirty Marifly livery, though. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And waiting for cargo. Let's do this. I'm going to hit the lav. That's coming up. We'll do that. I'm going to file a IFR flight plan for our flight to Hayward. And we're going to have to fly it IFR because that was our procedure. And we'll see where it takes us. So with that said, I'll throw some tunes on for you, and I will be back in about 5 minutes. Miss V1 might disapprove. Well, she's going to have to approve this one. All right, I'll be back, guys. If you aren't going to be back for the second leg, thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope we'll see you on a future one. But this flight will continue to Hayward Executive here in about 5 minutes.
You can never walk alone on your way to being free. We're only you. We're only you. But you can never walk alone on your way to being free. We're only you. We're only you. We're only you. But you can never walk alone.
On the way to being free.
We're only you. But you can never walk alone on your way to being free. We're only you. We're only you. But you can never walk alone on your way to being free.
All right. Here we go. We're filed up. We're ready to go. No aircraft in our no air traffic control. But we got a squawk of got our squawk 7062. Excellent. All right. Let's go home. Go home leg. Go home leg Friday power. So, let's pull up our Chieftain. The elevator's moving because that's my yoke. That's my Bruner holding the yoke forward. All right. So I said we were going to add some weight to the back. So let's go ahead and add. We'll fill her up. Be a little bit heavier on this departure. So completely loaded up now. We've got total weight 6,000 pounds, which is about 1,000 below max. So we are looking good. We're nice and loaded up. We're not going to change our fuel. We should have enough gas to get us back home. We've got 270 pounds gas. So we gotta stay on it. We gotta stay on our fuel burn, and we'll be just fine. So, all right. Cotton candy looks juice out there. Yeah, it does, baby. It looks good. All right, we'll come back over here. We'll close this compartment hatch right here. All right. Make sure our engine's in good working order. Everything looks good. No fuel top off and sack. Thank you, though. I'm excited to see what these night lights are going to look like. I am excited. All right, we'll close that hatch. Oh, look, there's somebody way up there. Man, this is a view right here that brings me back. Sitting right here on the backside of the pylon. Canadian PT6, what's up, man? Oh, what, you told me about the hydraulic pump test? Let me see. I don't remember how to do it. Do you remember how to do it? It pops the gear handle up, right? Is that what the one is? Canadian? Gear handle, let's see, hold on. He says, start the engine, gear down, and handle should pop back to the middle position. Okay, yeah. Put it down. So you start the right engine, gear handle down, handle should pop to the middle, and you shut down right first so you can try the left pump and shut down. Yeah, that's right. See, Canadian remembers all that stuff. I don't remember any of that stuff, man. Yeah, IVL Premium, baby. IVL Premium all the time, Gus, on the X-Plane. All right. We'll close up. Can we close it from the outside? We can't lock it from the outside, though, I would imagine. So let's come in here. We'll do this. We'll close you and latch you. All right. So we're going to start up and get our flight plan up. So we get the battery switch on, fuel pumps are off. Let's go. Beacon is on, position light is on. We'll get the overhead, avionics, pilot lights, co-pilot lights are coming on. And cowl flaps are open. We should have a warm start. So we'll crack the throttle. I wonder if we can start it without priming it. Maybe just, we'll see if we can get a warm start on this one. Fuel boost pumps are coming in. Magnetos. Fuel selectors on the inboard tank. Let's see. Cheat a little bit. Nah, she's going to need a shot of prime. That's all right. Pumps on. Bring them up. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. I'm bringing them back. Crack those a little bit more. Pumps off. Give you the Bravo cam so you can see me cross this. Let's try clear right, clear prop. Come on, baby. Right alternator's coming on. There's the map light. Here we go. All right, good start on number 2. Match them up. Clears the prop. 5, 6, 7. Bring you back down. There we go. Good start. That one started up nice and easy. Left start, avionics master switch. And map light is right here. So there's an additional floodlight. Right here. Oh! Alright. Get everything turned up here. Get our avionics cooking. Cowl flaps are full open. Trim set for takeoff. Come over here. Flaps are up. We're actually going to do a flaps 10 on this departure. Alright, that all looks good. We'll get you in standby mode. Alright, we got to put a little flight plan in for this one. So SAC, direct to SAC. US, accept. After SAC, it's Sunol. Sunol Hayward. All right, that looks good. If I look at SAC exec is 15.2. We have that. Let's put you active 1. And then eventually we're on the Sunol. We're just tracking that radial. Which is the 177. So I'm going to set 177 here ish. We'll put you in regular mode, which is going to change it, but it should be about 177 out of here. We're going to blast off 20. All right, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and check our... All right, we'll burn from those for a minute. Alright. Second minute traffic in flight 202 taxi runway 20. If I still have no radio, do I still have no radio? You still not hear me? Audio is the right mic. It's picking up. Radio check 19.8. Oh, 19.5. I'm on the wrong freak. I see somebody in front of me. Let's see if I can hear him. Radio check on 19.5.
Not clear.
Alright. Oh, you have the right radio frequency selected. Alright. Let's not waste any more gas. We're going to get on mic, go full length 20. Ivamo, thank you for the 250 Mexican pesos, my man. Very, very kind of you. I appreciate that. It says, thanks for the latest X-Plane streams today on the PA31. It's been awesome. Hope to see you fly X-Plane more. Well, I guarantee you, X-Plane is here to stay now for a while. I am hooked on X-Plane 12. A little bit burnt out on 2020 for right now. Just a lot of stuff going on. Kind of mid in 2020, some update 6 right now. So I am hooked. You're going to see a lot more X-Plane 12, man. Thank you so much for the support. Canadian, I can get that to work, but then it will cause issues with the autopilot. The interconnect. Then now you're talking about autopilot issues. All right, we filed 9,000 feet. And what was our squawk? It was 7062. Squawk altitude on the ground. Mike full length 20. Absolutely abominable. Here, I gotta turn off my other light here. Hold on, do you have control for a second? Now we're in night mode. Now we're feeling good. Number of times I smashed into my knee while turning abruptly sounds like a skill issue. I don't remember that happening at all. Skill issue confirmed. Canadian, you should check this out, man. You should check this Chieftain out for X-Plane 12, dude. Oh yeah, flight sim guy. We're going past blue hour. We're going night hour. Crossing 1634. Clear left. Clear right. 16. It should be 12. How old are layouts? Yes, you did see glowing red exhaust. You did indeed. All right, 1230. There we go. There's one. Clear left. Clear right. Flight control check. Excellent. That all looks good. Alright. Windows are closed. SAC exec traffic again, flight 202. Going to be departing runway 20 southbound. SAC exec traffic. Let's put 22.8 on the standby. We don't have to do a run-up because we've already done the run-up at the first leg, so... But what we will do, we'll get our lights, pumps, and all that good stuff here. Elitist Maggi, thank you for the $25 super chat. Recent X-Plane streams have been quite entertaining and even educational. Thanks for all the content. Looking forward to the Flight Factor Triple Demonstrate. Ooh, now you're talking. You guys really want to see more tube liners. I'm over here enjoying not having tube liners. But you guys want to see tube liners even in X-Plane 12, huh? My goodness. Thank you, Elitist. Very kind of you for the $25 super chat. I appreciate the support, my friend. I'm sure we will get to it in no time. All right, lights, pumps, mixtures coming up. We'll just crack them back. Props are full forward. Pumps are on. We'll go inboard. We're looking good. We are ready. Last check of the trim. Let's go. Yeah, I got the map light on right here. Looking spicy. Oh, there's a map light over here too, right? Oh, yeah. All right, let's do a rolling takeoff. 20 checks. Here we go. Get the prop up to the governor. And nice and smooth. 46 inches. Coming through 90 knots. Positive rate. Gear up. Flyby. Into the night we go. my goodness. That looks awesome. Elita says, I'm down for the X-Plane, all the X-Plane streams. I love turboprops, but the 777F is just a good showcase as to what X-Plane 12 capable of. I'm gonna have to try it, my man. I will have to try it. All right, here comes 1,000 feet. We'll lower the nose about 5 degrees. And climb performance. 36. 24. Gosh, those prop sounds are real life. And fuel flows are pretty good, between 24 and 34-ish. A little bit more trim in there. And we're on our way. Alright, we have our flight plan on GPS mode, so we can just go ahead and sync you up. We know we're going to 177. 130 knots in the climb. Make sure our flaps are up. There we go. Get a little extra speed. I've gotta get the flaps up, Chief. I was wondering why our speed was a little bit low. There we go. So I'm told I should turn ortho off now. Do I turn it off midstream? Yeah, I still need to get extended. I don't know what add-on I got. I'll have to double check. There's 130 knots in the climb out. Get ready to make the turn. Let's go noise canceling on. Sandman, thank you for the $5 super chat. Just finished up my night cross country for PPL. That is real life. Sandman. Dude, that departure looking off the nose, 100% real life, my man, right? So freaking cool. All right, in the turn here, 181 direct track. Thank you, Sandman, for the $5 super chat, and congrats on the cross-country night. How was it? How did you like your first night flight, man? Night cross-country. Pretty different, huh? I don't know what part of the world you're training in, but a whole different ballgame at night, huh? Don't turn off ortho, it will crash. Okay, all right. We will not close ortho. Don't. I want to buy the PA31 Canadian. You got to, man. Oh, you want to buy a real one for yourself for commuting? Dude, you should. You totally should. I'm going to look up what mod I got for night lights. Because there was 3 mods that were posted. I think I picked one, but I don't know if I love it. I think it has, the one I got does something with the light spilling, because I noticed the lights look different colors and they kind of spill better. 4 for 6. Check our temps. EGTs are looking a little hot, but everything, cylinder head, temps, everything else looks good. Fuel flows are good. Cow flaps are wide open. We're looking good. This thing is so trimmed out, Canadian. With the Brunner, dude, this is like real life, man. This is real life, the way this thing flies. I'm gonna try to look up so you guys can tell me exactly what did I download for mod. I downloaded Bays. Okay, so yeah, I downloaded Bays Nightlight mod. What did that do? Did I screw up my sim now? Because it made me redo the, like one of the files I had to overwrite. So I installed the Bays lighting mod. But I didn't get any extended night lights yet. Yeah, look at that exhaust is glowing in there, man. That is real freaking life, man. Oh, that is so cool. So if I have Bays, Bays isn't compatible with ortho though. Migs, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. I missed your it's up there. Sorry, dude. I was so distracted looking at all the juice here on X-Plane. Oh, my goodness, man. He says, that looks so damn good. I can feel the nervous side-eye over at Azobo HQ. Dude, Migs, I mean, I don't know about for you guys.
Second 60, Baron 660
But
to Juliet's taken off runway 20,
my,
departing to the southwest.
My Microsoft 2024 in Sim Update 6 does not look as good as it looked in Sim Update 5. The ortho looks lower quality. I have stutters every now and then. I don't know, man. It just didn't seem like a great update. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Canadian, right there. Yes, it does, my man. $130 knots, we're locked in, looking good. Reading Jet Center is hiring pilots to fly the Caravan around NorCal. Just need a commercial single and 200 hours. Nice, dude. That's good to know. Man, this is cozy at night. This is cozy at night. There's the floodlight. Oh, yeah. I like the floodlight on, though. It's cozy, chat. We're cozy. Flight Sim guy, I actually don't know. I know there's a mirror there, but I don't know if it's just a text file or image file. I don't know if it's reflective or not. All right, it's getting up here, approaching 1,000 feet to level off. Cozy X-Plane V1 2026, all before GTA 6, man. Look at that. Let me go full screen so you guys can fully enjoy that, huh? Should we keep the wing light on? The wing light is on, though. It's on the left side. Yeah. It's just so the captain can see if there's any ice. Alright, so let's get ready to level off here at 9. Start getting a little bit of nose down trim in there. Looking to get her less than 500 feet per minute before level off. Tomorrow's your IFR exam? Oh, well, best of luck, my friend. Alright, here comes 9,000 feet. I gotta get say intentions working. I would love to have say intentions. We'll do a full ham flight day. Gosh, the way this thing trims out, guys, I can't even... This might be in coordination with the Brunner. So I have the sysfeel off because I have a Brunner, which is force feedback. This might be the best hand-flying airplane that I have flown with my Brunner to date. All right, that's how freaking good it is. That I cannot. This is the best hand flying airplane I've felt with my Brunner since I have owned the Brunner for like 6 years. All right, are we gonna do a little Friday power? We'll do Friday power at 30 inches instead of 26. Friday power, 30 inches. $23. And let's go ahead and begin our leaning. We already talked about that. Ooh, see, it's going to temp out, so let's just enrich it a little bit. 1525. Close enough. 1525. Before we get the tank pumps off, let's go ahead and switch to outers. Pressure's holding on 1. Pressure's holding on 2. Full screen cam. And take a look at our temps. We'll go ahead and close the cow flaps. right, cowl flaps are closed. Friday power is activated. We're doing 150 knots. Actually, we can get our true airspeed. We're doing, let's see, so it's 10, 12 C. So let's go ahead and see how fast we're going TAS. It's 12 C. Where's the knob? All right, so plus 12, and we are at 9,000. Close enough. We're almost doing 200 TAS. That's Friday power for you. Do some ground mapping of the radar if you want to. Migs, thanks for the 2 Canadian. Says, does this beat out the Dukes? Thanks for the $2 super chat. Different sim, man. I gotta get back in the Dukes to try them again. I will tell you what, it's competitive in its for X-Plane 12. You know, I don't think anything still is as good as we are getting here in X-Plane 12. I think I would be lying to you if I said X-Plane 12 was 100% better looking than Microsoft 2024. Microsoft 2024 is still the number one in my opinion. We still have this night popping. I'm going to fix this for the next stream. I downloaded the wrong mod. But this is about as close as it gets, man. About as close as it gets. Do you have enough fuel for go home power? I don't know, actually. It's going to be pretty tight. I was looking at that myself. What is our fuel flow right now? We're doing 18. We are burning a lot of gas. I'll tell you what. Can I get them down a little bit more here? We may not have the gas for Friday power. Instead of 26, we'll do 28. How's that? I'll save us a little bit of fuel. Just gonna lean for 15.25 here. 18 gallons an hour. It's gonna be close. The sunset haze. I know Gus is mushing. Flew into SPP and Microsoft compared your X-Plane land textures. Colors were better in Microsoft, but in X-Plane you had gross trees that were trees. In Microsoft, those trees were flat photogrammetry tiles. Yeah, exactly, Allope. See, that's the thing, Allope. It's... Man, it depends on where you're flying in each sim. I think I'm bummed. I thought I downloaded the right mod. So, Gus, do I need to get rid of bays? Or do I just keep bays and install the extended night lighting one? Do I even need bays? I feel like bays mod here, though, it changed the way the lights look on the ground. I'd hate to get rid of it. Canadian, thank you for the 31 Canadian, man. I appreciate you. Very kind. He says, memories. I wish to everybody to fly a PA31 at least one time in their lives, and for those working on your license, if you ever have the chance to fly a Piper, Chieftain, or similar before the airlines, do it. You won't regret it. I 100%, 100% agree with you, Canadian PT6. The Chieftain is a special airplane, man. It is a very special airplane. I have so many memories of flying this aircraft. I mean, I can smell this cockpit. I can smell the sounds. You know, it just brings me right back. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. Matter of fact, it was on this exact route where I was almost vectored into a mountain, be killed. V1 sim, remove it, and then you check if it is compatible. Okay, AJ says I don't use bays, the extended night lighting, though. Yes, okay. Yeah, I wonder... Well, if I uninstall bays... I'm not going to do it now, Gus, obviously. But... It changed my bitmaps and default scenery, backup old lights. If I put my backup in, is that gonna mess with my orthos at all? Or like, I don't know. See, I feel like I screwed that up. I should have backed up my own. I just don't want it to mess with like the layering of my CFG folder. Oscar, you use all 3 mods. It works for you? Yeah, Elitist Magi. That's the one I wanted to get Drishel Mac too. I was scrambling. So from the last stream to this one, I was scrambling because I was trying to get this stream set up, get the airplane. I bought the airplane, get it my settings bound roughly, and get it all set up and find something to eat. I've been sitting at my PC since 9 this morning when I dropped the kids off at school, and I haven't stepped out to eat at all. So I grabbed something to eat, and I was just trying to scramble, and I said, well, I can only have time for 1 mod. So I don't think Drishel Mac 2 is in the mod because I don't have to check. I need the extended one though. I need the extended lighting. But I can see where we're going. This is San Fran. And then there's Oakland actually. That's Oakland right there. So Hayward's just in front of it. AJ, you should check out Bays and tell me if it's worth it, man. It looked convincing when I looked at the mod page. It looked like there was some cool stuff. What makes this add-on different from the Microsoft equivalents? Well, you know, the black square stuff is pretty much the equivalent. Right, I haven't flown GA in Microsoft that's better than the black square stuff, and that stuff hand flies really, really well. Where I would say the difference is when you're looking at, you know, taxiing on the ground. Although the black square stuff does handle pretty dang good on the ground. Nick over at Black Square, he is really a wizard at what he does, and you know, there's no airplane to compare it to. Like, I don't have a PA31 in. If Black Square did a PA31, that would be awesome to test against, you know, but we don't have that. I gotcha, Jesse. All right. Are you saying I shouldn't use bays, though? I thought the lights looked good. I could definitely tell a difference when we took off. I mean, honestly, what if I just put on the extended nightlight mod with bays? Like, if I could just draw these out a little bit, it'd be perfect. Do any add-ons for Microsoft have ground mapping? Yeah, the Black Square Starship does. You can ground map in the Starship because it's a fully custom radar, dude. It's insane. That's what I'm saying. Black Square he's insane. All right, we got to start prepping for our approach. We'll do the old school LOP 28 left. We could load this up here, procedures, and we'll do it off of, we'll draw it all the way off of Brian. We'll just load it. And then we'll go direct to Fern. So AmFlight 202, flight present heading, expect vectors, localizer 28. So we'll go ahead and select heading. And then we're in heading track. We're going to maintain, descend and maintain 7,000. But this is this is crazy. These are the mountains I was almost, I think I was over here more. Maybe it was that mountain set. One of these sets of mountains, I was almost vectored into a mountain. So, very close to not being here. Let's descend and maintain 6,000 for starters. Alright, 6,000, we'll arm it. We'll pitch down, we'll start the chrono. And we'll bring it back to 25. 24-ish. That's good. We'll start stage cooling now, and then we'll clean this up. We'll cursor over direct to Fern. That's the fix they would vector us to. Oh, dang it! I need to get clear. Let's go big knob direct. Activate. Alright. And then OBS. I can't OBS it off Fern. Interesting. That's alright, we'll vector ourselves. Final approach course 288. And then we'll go direct Fern here soon. Yeah, heading won't track. I'm staying in heading. I gotta get vectored over. This was the pain about doing this route IFR. They give you vectors to Fern. 111.5 puts you on Loc 1, which I don't know if we're picking it up yet. We'll put it on Nav 2 as well. We'll get you dialed up. Yes, we are. Final approach course will be 288 degrees. All right, on our descent, pumps on. Jeez, we're getting low, guys. Oh, chat, we are getting low. Okay, for sake of running out of gas, M-Flight 202, proceed direct Fern. Now, so we'll go flight plan. I might have misjudged. Direct enter. Nav, you up on GPS. Down we go. We're going to Fern. We should cross Fern at 2,500 feet. So we are high, so if we got to glide it in, that's good. 2,500 is set and armed. We are 2 minutes from Fern. Down we go. And in our descent, I like to turn noise canceling off. It just sounds so good. Alright, I'm going to leave the pumps on just because we're so low on gas. Our lights are all on. We're ready to go for the visual. Oops, what is that? I didn't hit that button. There's Oakland right there, so I can see Oakland. Hayward is just in front of it. Actually, there's the beacon for Hayward right there. Look at that turbo glowing. Alright, we're nabbing to Fern. We're looking good. Yeah, no, we don't want to land at Oak. We got to land at Hayward. Although she doesn't look like she's... Let's redirect us. There we go. Oh, it's in heading mode. That's why. Nav. There we go, nav coupled, direct to Fern. Now we're nabbing coupled Fern. Get tight on that gas, chat, we're getting tight. Oh my gosh, we're hiring a van full of hippies. Alright. We're not going to damage anything if we don't stage go, are we? Let's slip her down. Switch over to V-load, which we are. Yeah, Flight 202, can you get down from there? Yeah, we can do it. That is the gear warning horn, yeah. There is no silence, I don't believe, on the gear warning horn. Oh, yeah, we're good. I am Flight 202. Sorry about that. I was talking to Southwest there. They got us some pizzas, so we got distracted. Hope you can make it down. Contact Hayward Tower over on 20.2. You have a good night. Alright, we're good. We can decouple that. We can get these up here a little bit. Get off the gear warning. There's just a little switch in the throttle. I don't want to get too low because we are on fumes. I don't want to use too much power, so I'm just going to kind of coast her in. This thing will get down, man. This thing will get down. Now, I did land on the right side frequently. Should we try it? Nah, let's land on the left side. It's a little bit tight. How much fuel is left? Not much. Alright, I think the runway's made, so gear down. And first notch of flaps. Now, we didn't put the props full forward until we were slowed to our final approach speed. That was for noise. Unless we were on an instrument approach, then you set them 2400. Alright, there's blue line, next notch of flaps coming in. One more to go. And full flaps. Or excuse me, full prop. Full flap. Gear down. Mixtures are set. Juice them a little bit. Props are set. Ready. Night landing. Oh, look at bays. You can see bays makes the lights glow. Dude, I don't want to get rid of bays. Look at that. You can see the glow in the haze. Gus, I gotta see if bays is compatible with the extended mod. That looks awesome. It gives it a little glow. Like I have astigmatism. Flyer down, flyer down. Oh, a little late on the flare. Chunked it on. Hold that nose up. We made it. First night landing. Alright, bring him up 1,000 RPM. Keep all our lights on as we cross. Clear left. Clear right. Alright, we're clear that way. That's all coming off. Those are coming off. Flaps coming up. Transponder, standby. Trims. It's actually faster to do this. Cow flaps. I need to bind these. Man, I remember my old flows, man. It's crazy. It was an actual flow in the Chieftain. You know, it was flaps up, transponder, mixture, trim, cow flaps, and fuel tanks. And for sake of time, we'll just park it. Must be getting foggy. hazy. Taxi lights coming off. Park brake is set. Alternators left, right. That looks good. Avionics master switch coming off. 1000 RPM. Cut it. Idle. Mags. Beacon. And internal lights would actually, and then we'd get fuel pump boost, fuel pump circuit breakers, fuel tanks to off, and that's it. Everything stays on. Nav light, we just kept that in the on position. Would kill the floodlight, and then battery switch. Ladies and gentlemen, there's our first night flight in the PA31. Let's offload the cargo, stop at the grocery store on the way home, and go see the missus before we do it all again tomorrow, right? All right. That was sweet. Disconnect from there. I don't think there is a... I don't think there's a flashlight in X-Plane 12, is there? Now, the real question is, let me go here, CIS Chieftain, weight and balance. Oh man, we had 8 gallons. Really? So we still had 8. We had, we still had 150 pounds. Still not a lot. 150 pounds of gas. So we were about right. Let's go ahead and unload. I believe it will save it for the next one. So we are completely unloaded. And that's it. All right. Let's watch the replay. There is a flashlight? NVGs. Oh. Oh, that is cool. All right. That is cool. Let's watch the replay. Let's see how this does in replay. Will it? I don't even know. Let's see. Wow, turned everything on. Excellent. Okay, so are we... Gus, your homework, Gus. Gus. You need to figure out... I don't want to get rid of bays. You need to figure out if I can run bays and the extended light mod. That's all I want. Bays and the extended light mod. Because I love the bays glowing situation here. I want to see it in a couple other scenarios. Oh wow, my nervous system like it was when I landed. Airbus flare. Oh, there's a Canadian PT6 landing right there. That's how Canadian landed his managers all the time. There was no float in that one. Got a little slow. Yeah, look how slow I am. 100 knots. That's good. Actually, I flirted like a 7.3. I kept the nose off, though. The sounds are awesome. All right, that's it. That is it. I am done. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a freaking blast, man. I can get used to X-Plane and chill. X-Plane and chill streams. For sure. Alright, enjoy the approach and landing into Hayward, California, my old home. And just amazing. This airplane is pretty cool, man. Awesome job from Iceman and the Jetstream team, or if it's just Iceman, whoever. I mean, kudos. This airplane is great. This is a really, really high fidelity add-on here for X-Plane 12. I'm loving it. It hand flies amazing. And we're gonna fly up more. We're gonna fly up more. If there's any hardcore talented livery painters that come across this stream, hit me up. I'd like to get an Amerifly livery done for this puppy. I had one done on the Coronado. It was all like beat up looking. It'd be awesome if we can get one done on this. So that's it. That's all she wrote for now. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll probably be doing, I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. Maybe some 707 ops. One stream tomorrow. I just don't know what stream we're going to do. Either 707 or maybe 757 again. Or 767 with the new update. X-Plane 12. I don't know. Joe Plains, you switched to CTAF like a proper pilot. Sorry, man. I keep forgetting about the CTAF nonsense, too. I keep forgetting about it. But Chris PT6, take it easy, man. I will talk to you later, I'm sure, as well. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for the support. I will catch you all on the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, everyone. Catch you on the next stream tomorrow. So.